Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is the day that I started my vacation properly. I'm going today to Suomenlinna in Finland. I'm sorry that I could not start recording the video from the beginning of when I was entering the ferry and everything because I was almost late. So I had to quickly rush into the hall, and then I couldn't record any video prior to the time that I entered the ship until even when I was leaving the ship. So right now, we have arrived to Helsinki in Finland, and now we are disembarking from the ferry, and I'm trying to make my way out. And you can see that I have a relatively big bag. It was because my brother's wife actually asked me to buy some stuffs from Finland for her, and also I intend buying some stuffs from Finland back to Estonia because there are some certain things, especially African products, that are cheaper in Finland than in Estonia. So I actually use that opportunity to buy what I needed to, use in Estonia. It usually comes with such opportunities. So you have to, utilize the opportunity that you have. So right now, I am leaving the seaport, trying to make my way outside right now. All right, so follow me as we embark on this journey together. We move. Yeah, right now we are in the central train station in Helsinki, and this is where I'm going to meet with my brother's wife to give her all the things that she sent to me, and then I'll be on my way to Suomenlinna. But before then, we stopped at a place where they call the Helsinki Cathedral. This is the Finnish Evangelical Lutheran Cathedral of the Diocese of Helsinki. This place is actually located in the neighborhood of Kronunaka in the center of Helsinki, Finland, at the Senate Square. The church was originally built in 1830 to 1852 as a tribute to the Grand Duke of Finland. The name is Tsar Nicholas I of Russia. One thing I discovered about all this Eastern Europe is that almost all the church buildings that you have in all this Eastern Europe was built by Russian. I think that was during the Russian Empire, or during the time that Russia is a Soviet Union. So all these Finland, Estonia, Lithuania, Latvia, and Georgia, all these eastern countries of Europe are actually under the Soviet Union before every one of them now go their various ways. So most of all these churches are built by the Russian, and that actually explains the fact that these people don't go to church. I mean, all these churches, all these buildings are now tourist attractions. So they are really not going to church. And even if any of the church is still active, most or all their members are Russians. You understand? Because some Russians have become the native of each of the countries that the Soviet Union used to control before. So naturally, these people don't go to church. If you hear all these Vikings, all these Valhalla, these are the people that are called Valhalla. So they are really not, Christians. But the churches you see are built by the people that have either colonized them or the people that have ruled them before. So it explains the reason why they just use all those churches as the kind of tourist attraction, and not like they are going there. Major thing they used to do in all these cathedrals and churches is wedding. anything apart from wedding, you will not see a typical Finnish person in a church. Although things are changing now because there are new generational Christians that are trying to, convert people into Christianity in mass in Finland nowadays. So now we are embarking on our journey to Suomenlinna. Eventually, I'm inside what they call sea bus. It is a kind of small ferry, like a boat, but they usually call it sea bus. So as we approach Suomenlinna, let me just give you a little history about the Suomenlinna Sea Fortress. The fortress is situated on a group of islands of Helsinki. Suomenlinna was built during the Swedish era as the maritime fortress and a base for the archipelago fleet. Work on the fortress began in 1748. So, talking about the story of Suomenlinna, originally called Sveaborg or Viapori in Finnish, begun in 1748 when the Swedes began fortification work on the Susilodot island off Helsinki. Sorry, because I really can't pronounce some of these things because they are not English. So it's in their language, and it's a little bit this thing for me to pronounce. So I'm very sorry if I sound somehow awful and stuff like that. So yeah, as I was saying, the Swedes lost its superpower status and its most important eastern fortress in the wars with Russia in the first half of the 1700s. Reinforcing the defenses of Finland was deemed necessary. In 1747, the Swedish parliament made a decision to build a central fortress, including a naval base in Helsinki and a border fortress in Dogeby off Lovisa. So the fortification began in the following year on the Susilodot island of Helsinki and the location in present-day Suomenlinna. So that was actually the story of how Suomenlinna Sea Fortress, came into place. So the Swedish era for this Suomenlinna was between 1748 and 1808. Swedish era of the fortress continued for 60 years until 1808 when Viapari was besieged by the Russian forces in the Russo-Swedish War. So then the Russian took over the fortress, and then in 1808 Viapuri along with its ships and equipment was transferred under the rule of the Russian imperial government. So the following year Finland became an autonomous Grand Duchy of Russia, but Viapuri remained a military base under Russian administration. So later when Finland got their independence, so with the Russian Revolution and Finland's independence in 1917. So Finland got its independence in 1917. So Viapuri was taken over by the newly funded Finnish government in 1918 and renamed Suomenlinna, which can be interpreted as Castle of Finland. So that was the story of Suomenlinna, why it is called Suomenlinna as of today. So right now, I'm trying to, do some kind of sightseeing in this island. It's a very, very beautiful island. Like what my partner that traveled with me told me. She said that this is white man's way of doing tourism, because in Suomenlinna, what you will do is actually what they call hiking. So hiking means that you have to walk from one place to the other to do some sightseeing. You will see the church, you will see the King's Gate, you will see the military museum. You will see the first submarine in Finland. You know, all those things. So you have to be going from one place to the other, like I am doing in this video. So right now, I am trying to see the church, the Suomenlinna church. So the Suomenlinna church is actually, it was actually built by the Russians after they took over the fortress from Sweden. So you understand? So they built that place, because remember I've told you that the churches are usually built by the Russians. So the Suomenlinna church in Helsinki, Finland was built in 1854. So this building has been standing since 1854 as an Eastern Orthodox garrison church for the Russian troop stationed at the Suomenlinna sea fortress. So this was actually built by the Russian, because I mean the Russians are actually religious people, to be sincere. They are religious and all. So it's funny. They are very, very religious in Russia. So the church is actually popular for weddings. So now that the Finnish government has taken over the church, you understand, it also doubles as a lighthouse also, because if you see the building, it's a lighthouse as well. So the distance from the main quarry to the church is 200 meters. So walking from the water bus, after we come down, it will take you 200 meters to walk into the church. So right now I'm showing you around the church, and also I'm going to enter the church right now. I'm going to be showing you how the church looks like from inside. You know, it is very funny because when you look at this church from outside, it is very big, very beautiful and very big church. But when you enter inside, you'll be so surprised that it looks kind of small inside, but it is very, very beautiful. It is very, very, very beautiful, but it looks like a small church inside. But when you look at it from outside, it's something very big, very, very big. So you see that it's kind of like a typical Orthodox church inside, very, very beautiful. And on the wall, we have pictures of how the church has been used from the 18th century up until right now. So that is around 2 centuries. So this church has been standing for 2 centuries. That's over 200 years that this church has been standing. So imagine, can you see the wall? This is so. This is a church service in the early 19th century and in the 18th century. They did wedding here. So because presently it's really being used as a wedding venue right now. It's really a wedding venue right now. And yeah, so this is the inside. As you can see, I'm showing you the pictures they have on the wall about the history and what they have done over the time and everything like that. So this is a very, very beautiful place. It's an interesting place to visit if you are somebody that likes going back to history and knowing more about what has happened before you were ever born. You understand? So there are steps at the entrance of the church. Detachable through shaped ramp and can be erected by the caretaker upon requests. So if there is somebody that is a kind of disabled and still want to access the church, they have a way of allowing them to enter. So I'm just showing you the altar area and where the priests used to, sit and everything like that. You see that this church is very, very beautiful. So yeah, this is the Suomenlinna church, and then I'm going to be going out of the place in few moments, but let me just show you the outer side closely. And in fact, as I was filming this, I look at my site, just where I am right now, and I saw a man praying there. So the man, I just greeted the man, and I noticed that, okay, this person is praying. When you get inside the church, there used to be this kind of spiritual, yeah, stuff that you feel, and you feel like, oh, I'm in a church, that kind of thing. And I think this ship represents something unique. That is why they put this there. It's actually going to represent some kind of prototype of a ship. You will see that this is kind of a warship as I know back then. So you will see the guns and the cannon at the back of the ship. So it's kind of like warship. And these are names. Okay, John 3:16 was, was written in, I think, 45 languages. And very, very funny, there are different languages of the world. Then there is something they call Afrikaans. I don't know what that means. I don't know, maybe it's South African language. I really don't know. That Afrikaans, I used to see it very well when you are checking language, this thing, but I really don't know which language that is. I'm an African, but I don't know what language it is. So they wrote the John 3:16 in 45 different languages. So naturally, the Russians are very, very religious people. Very religious people. Yeah. So this place, you can drop your prayer requests in this place. So right now, I'll be leaving this church shortly, and I'll be going to another attraction somewhere else. Okay, enough of the Suomenlinna church. I really make sure I show you everything in this church. So right now, we are going to another place. So leaving the church, we are moving to this is also an information about the church before you enter, actually. So I just want to show it to you guys. Probably you'll be able to read it. I don't know, but yeah, I try to make you to read the history and everything by yourself, so that you get the information I'm trying to give about the Suomenlinna church by yourself. All right, now we proceed. See, my partner is going to the wrong place. So right now, I'm trying to call so that we can go to the right place. So yeah, let's move on to other places. Actually, I've been to this fortress. This will be my third time, but I've never, you know, um, recorded anything about my visit to this fortress before. So I just want to show you my family about this place. So right now we are going to this place. I really don't know the name, but yeah, it's part of the Suomenlinna. And remember that this fortress is more than 200 years old, and almost all these buildings you are seeing there, they are more than a century-year old buildings. So it's really interesting for me to be working on a place that was built by people that are even older than my forefather. That kind of a thing. So I mean, it's very beautiful to behold. So I'm not sure, because I really don't know who actually built this building. Because when you are talking about buildings that are centuries old, you're supposed to know that most of the time these are the period of the slavery slave trade and all those things. So it might have been built by the slaves, who are usually black people. So, but I'm not sure about the story, because in most of the history of the world, what the black people had to go through were usually not recorded on purpose. They usually don't want to mention all the atrocities that they passed through. You understand? Although some people might not be happy with what I'm saying, but we just have to speak the truth about reality of life. They try to, abuse the black people, and then they try to hide it so that they will not be blamed for, committing atrocities and stuff like that. But then it's okay, no problem at all. I mean, things happen. I understand, but I mean, this is more than 200 years ago, and there is nothing like that again. You understand? Although, of course, you will meet some people who are kind of discriminatory, still thinking that black people are still maybe below them, or stuff like that. But then, I mean, it's really not a problem for me. Experience has taught me that there are just so many things that you actually don't need to bother yourself about. So right now we are inside a kind of a shop where they sell some kind of souvenirs, and then they display some kind of old artifacts. But majorly is a souvenir shop. So if you are this kind of person that likes that every time you visit a new place, you like to go back from the place with something that was bought or taken from that particular place. So I think that this is your stop. So right now, the video I could take in Suomenlinna, because my phone literally went dead. My battery literally went dead, so I couldn't do much. So guys, thank you so much for exploring Suomenlinna with me, because this is where my video of Suomenlinna ends. Like I said earlier, my battery was dead. So now we are back in Estonia. You see that it is already late in the night. It was a day trip, and thank you everyone for joining me. If you have yet to subscribe to my channel, please do wait to subscribe. See you later. Peace out.